Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Quant. Quant has in the last few days lost a little bit of its price again. We are back below the $160 mark. To be more specific, we're currently looking at a price of around $157.11 as I speak here. The problem with Quant is that it is still sort of in this channel. It hasn't really broken out of this channel. You can see this the channel here actually on the screen. Um, there you go. So this channel here, this parallel channel or this sort of trend channel in which we're operating, it hasn't really allowed the price to break out, or the price didn't break out of it. Now, there's two things you can look at it. Like you can look at it in terms of, right, this is a channel, and we have failed to break out of the channel overall, or that this is actually a descending triangle. So if you sort of remove the lower trend line, then it appears to be like a descending triangle. And such a descending triangle is generally considered you would consider it more of a bearish wave pattern. Of course, it's never guaranteed to break out to the downside. And the key support level is actually this sort of 157 US dollar level. I mean, if you look at this, at the support box there in green, this is the overall support box or target area that I did give you, well, many weeks ago, where I thought the price would get into, right? In the end, the price did move into it, the price did get into it, but it really hasn't broken into it substantially. Yes, we've touched it a few times. We've broken below the $157 for a few times, but only briefly. So the point is here, it hasn't broken out to the upside. It's still caught in this channel, or maybe even descending triangle, which is, again, the rather, let's call it, bearish pattern. So at the moment, I would just go with, like, we're following the trend, right? And the trend is currently down. But as you can see here on the screen, where I've got the mouse, this is really the key decision point at the moment, yeah? So this is an absolute key decision point, because in the end, it's all about, do we now break to the upside and complete this larger wave 2 correction in which we are, which consists of an ABC pattern, or do we carry on to the downside? And this is in the current stage impossible to forecast. So my primary expectation, though, would be that we continue with the move to the downside, just because, in my opinion, the wave C is still a little bit too short. However, we've already reached the minimum requirements of this wave 2 correction, which means, we want to be ready for a potential move to the upside, which is also why I already added some more QNT to my portfolio after I took profits at around, I think it was 185 to $188. I think 188 it was, where I took some at least partial profits, and I'm now reinvesting that slowly. But I will, as always, I try to scale in. So I'm not going to go, oh yeah, I'm going to go all in. If I buy now, I recognize that I might be catching a falling knife, because we haven't got a confirmed bottom yet. So this can certainly still go lower, yeah. And in terms of key support, we've got obviously support here in the green box. This goes all the way down to around 117 US dollars down there, which is the 78.6% retrace of that wave, well, of the wave 1 into the wave 2. Certainly a very relevant support level. Below or in between, we've got the 145, sort of $150 level, which is sort of around the 61.8% fib level. Also, if you take a look at this green box, in there, you can see the yellow line. The yellow line, well, not the trend line, I'm talking about this sort of dynamic line which is coming up there. This is the 50-day, the simple day moving average. In my opinion, not too relevant, also not an Elliott wave, but still a level where we could see a temporary bounce. And sometimes you can see prices turn around there. So it is certainly something worth looking at as well. So primary expectation is further continuation to the downside. It's really only if the price can break out of this descending trend line there, of that triangle or the channel, however you want to see it, and breaks to the upside and then moves impulsively above the 179 US dollar level, which is here, which is the top of that triangle. It's the top of that ABCDE triangle, which in the end was part of that B wave of the current correction in a wave 2. Only really then I would consider this move down really over, and that we've bottomed and that we are back in an uptrend, and that would be in a wave 3, and that could take us to very high levels, right? So we're then talking about prices above $300, $350, and overall the larger trend is up anyway. So yeah, primary expectation still further down. We haven't got a signal that we've bottomed here, so overall we have to assume we are carrying downwards. Also, the wave C is pretty low or pretty short, so I would just generally expect a bit of a longer decline, but be ready for any move to the upside already now because we've hit my support area. I've started to say that when we hit that support area for the first time, which was here earlier in October, that was. So yeah, that's my update about Quant. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye bye.